Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel. And this is so exciting. This is a product review for this amazing thing. So what this is a chamber vacuum sealer from Wevac. They contacted me and said, hey, we want to have you take a look at this. And I am so glad because you know I'm a vacuum sealer. I put all my spices, let me pull this up. Like I put all my herbs and spices in quart jars. They're labeled. I vacuum seal the top so they stay fresh, which is awesome. I do that. I like to vacuum seal things that go in my fridge. So I'm excited about this because it's very different. So I have had the vacuum seals that you put the bag in, you close it, you turn it on, it kind of sucks all the air out. And those are terrific. That's what you got on your counter. I've used one for years. I've used the kind that fit over the lid or the neck of the jar and vacuum seal, and that seals the lid on. And also the kind that has the little tube that fits into these kind of, there's this little one down here, like these kind that wide mouth and regular mouth lids that fit on top of the jars and vacuum seal. But chamber vacuuming is so different. The reason this is cool is, you know how you use a regular kind of a vacuum sealer and it sucks the air out of the bag, and the deal is with that, like you can't do powder. It sucks the powder in there. You can't do liquids unless you pre-freeze them. So you have to freeze them and then vacuum seal them, which is fine if that's what you've got. And then if you have something that's like a meat that's got juice in it, it can suck the juice up in there. That does not happen with a chamber vac. So I'm going to give you a few little information about this, and then I'm going to set it up so that you can see. Now this is cool because we're going to go on our trip, and I want to vacuum seal some things that I just kind of wrapped and put in the freezer. So this is going to be good because I thought maybe I'll use those things before we go. I'm not gonna. So I'm going to vacuum seal them so they're going to stay good for a really long time. This vacuum sealer comes with this big chamber inside, and this is where you're going to lay the bag, and I'll show you how that happens. It also comes, which I think is super cool, with a little connector hose that attaches, or it fits on. This actually goes into, there's a little port. I don't know if you get right there, that little port. This clicks onto that port, and then this can go on the top of a bottle, or you can flip it around. Hang on, I gotta pull that hose off. There we are. And turn it in on this side, and then that will go in the top of those kind of lids. So it's pretty universal. So there's that. It also comes with, when you get it, if you order one of these, and I'll give you some ordering information, this is the heat bar. It comes packaged separately, and you see there's just these two little dots, and down in there are just two little pegs that stick up that this sets on. And then it also comes with a little cover for the heat bar as well. I guess you need that later. So I'm going to set those aside. It also comes with bags, and of course a cord to plug, a power cord. So we'll talk about that. I'll plug that in and I'll show you how everything works. But it does come with a set of bags. Small ones, there's small and larger ones. And you can on the website order bulk bags, which is cool. And if you want 15% off, which you do, because why not save money? This is a much more expensive vacuum sealer. But having messed around with it, knowing how amazing it works, I think it's worth every penny. But if you use the code Tuliloo Creates, all one word, just like my channel name, you can get 15% off, which is a darn good deal. It's a good savings. So it has a manual. Oh, it also will work with these types of containers that other vacuum seal things will work with, and that's pretty cool. So it'll work with that too. But this will vacuum various types of foods. I have some bullet points for you because I don't want to forget, because it's just that cool. It is compatible with all kinds of vacuum bags. Secret, it's also compatible with Mylar bags that you cannot vacuum seal in anything else. This will do it. Cool. It's able to vacuum seal mason jars and other canisters. If you want to put your mason jar in here, there are instructions and videos on the Wevac website on operational things. Watch that, because I'm going to tell you what, this creates such a vacuum that if you don't adjust it right, you can actually break the jar because it sucks the air out that hard. So make sure that you follow the instructions. There's an instruction manual with everything, so you want to make sure you do that. It has a multiple working zone. So it has the smart vacuum, which is just done by the measurements up here on the top. There is a small, medium, and large, and that's based on the size of the bag. So it will vacuum based on the bag size. And so it knows that. It has customized vacuum. This is where you can make an adjustment to things that maybe are more moist or more delicate. You can make adjustments there. It has a marinate, which is awesome. Like that, you can put your meat in there, you can marinate it. And what happens is when it vacuum seals, it literally pulls that marinade into the meat, which is so awesome. So if you want to either really marinate something or marinate something quickly that tastes like you marinated it forever, that's the way to go. So there's that. And it also has seal, so you can just seal. And if you get the bulk bags on a roll, you'll use the seal to seal it just like normal. The cool thing about this is it doesn't just put one line. If you look at the seal, there's actually a double line of seal, which is super good because that is obviously going to have like a backup plan, which is cool. It will smart vacuum based on the food quantity and the bag size. It also, the chamber is pretty big. It's 12.2 wide by 13 long and 3.9 deep. So it's perfect for portions and cuts of meat and stuff. And because it's like a bowl, when you set your soup or your liquid down in here, it kind of leaves the bag up. So that's kind of cool. It has a glass lid on a stainless steel body. And I want to tell you, this thing is heavy. It is a heavy piece of equipment. So I've had to ponder. I have a counter over at the edge of my kitchen over by the back door, and I just have my wheat grinder sitting there. Well, meat grinder is a one-item thing. So I'm thinking maybe the wheat grinder needs to come off and this needs to live there because it's heavy, and I want to dedicate a space to it because I'm going to use this a lot. I'm going to use it when I do my make-a mixes because I can vacuum seal the powder that's going to go in the fridge because you know that makes such a bulk thing, and I keep it in the freezer unless it's just a small amount I'm going to use. I'm going to use it to vacuum seal leftovers. I buy cheese in bulk that I can just put in my refrigerator freezer so that I can pull it out, but it'll stay fresher longer. So I can see using this, whereas if I pull out my wheat grinder, I can grind a bunch of wheat and then I can vacuum seal it. So see how cool this is? Okay, so it has a dry pump, and that pump requires no maintenance at all. The amazing thing is too, have you ever heard of a thing like this that has a 2-year warranty? This one does. It has a 2-year warranty to the customers because it is a quality item. So I've kind of gone over here, and here's the little buttons that you will either raise or lower the time and things. And then on the side, there is a power switch. That power switch over here doesn't actually turn it on or off. This just, if you leave it plugged in, like I might plug it in over there and just leave it, this I can turn off or on to just eliminate the draw. You know that I don't know what they call it, a dead draw or something. When you leave things plugged in, they are draw a little bit. This will just turn that off. It actually, you have a power button here, and when you close it, now you're gonna, you know, hit the power button or whatever, it's not gonna happen. It automatically turns on when it's closed, when it's set and ready to go. It'll automatically turn on, and then you watch it, and the weird thing is it doesn't vacuum seal down like you expect it to. It just sits there and it vacuums, and then all of a sudden it releases and goes, and it's like a commercial vacuum. That thing is tight. So you watch it and you don't see anything until all of a sudden you just hear this whoosh, and this unlocks, it's down, it's sealed, it's amazing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up so that you can watch down in it. I'm hoping. I'm going to have to bring in a little table to sit here. And I'm going to vacuum seal a couple things for you. So I'll be back. It's going to be so cool. I want to show you guys the bags. Like, they will come with some bags in the package. You can also order pre-cut bags like this. They're just already, these are the 8x12. There's 200 in here. Pretty good deal. And you can get these. These bags are microwave safe, dishwasher safe, so you can reuse them. It does say in the book that you shouldn't reuse things that you've microwaved or something more than once, but you can reuse the bags, which is really economical. They're also, of course, freezer safe. You can also buy them in the bulk roll. This is 8 inches by 100 feet and 11 inches by 100 feet. So there's 2 in here. You roll it out, and there's actually a slicer, kind of like when you buy plastic wrap in bulk, like the big ones, the restaurant size ones. So that's pretty handy. Now I've set my machine up here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load some things up in the bags, and then we'll watch these things get vacuumed. Okay, I want to give you a quick little look inside before we actually vacuum seal. So this lid is a glass. You can see through it. It is so heavy duty. Like, this is super quality, I'm telling you what. But here's the chamber. And then you can see at the front, see these 2 little tabs? So when you put a bag in here, you put the bottom of the bag. So you put the bottom of the bag underneath those 2 little tabs like that. And then just kind of pull it flat. And that's how it's going to sit in here. I just want to show you that before I actually do this one, because what I have here is I've got some sourdough bread bowls that I intended to use before we left. So I knew I wasn't going to use them right away, so I put them as I normally would in the freezer. I wrapped them with some plastic wrap and then some aluminum foil, and normally they'd be fine if I used them in the time frame I intended to. But I'm not going to get to use these before we go on our trip, and I don't want to waste them. So I feel like vacuum sealing them is going to keep them fresher longer, and maybe when I come back, these will be ready and I'll be able to make a nice quick dinner using these bread bowls. So I pre-froze these, which is suggested when you're going to do bread. Kind of pre-freeze it. It's fine even if you just take the loaf and set it in the freezer. It's fine until it's fully frozen, and then you want to vacuum seal the frozen part. You can adjust it if something's like really soft, but this just prevents you from having to do that. So I'm going to turn this around now that you've seen how that bag goes in there. And you can see the workings. So I have this slipped under there the way it's supposed to be. And then here, you can see where you can do the Smart Vac seal. You have to close the lid. And, oh, I got to turn it on. Let me turn it on. So then what I'm going to do, it will start when the lid is closed. So I'm going to use the Smart Vac, and I'm going to do small, and that's automatic. It's just going to automatically happen. So here we go, but I want to turn it around so that you can see what it looks like in there, because this is cool. So here you go. Let's watch what happens. There it goes. I can see it kind of expanding there because it's vacuuming everything out. And then when it's done, so it counts up. And this, I believe, is going to count. Try to move it. I hate that I don't have to. So you can see how it's counting down there. You see? And then it's going to count all the way up. And then it will get to a point and it will count down as it's sealing. When it's done sealing, I'm going to show you what happens so you can see in here. So it's going to count up to 40, and then for the small bag. And then when it gets to 40, now it's counting 3, 2.5, 2, 1.51. Watch this. It's going to release. What? That is so cool. Look at this. And it beeps 3 times to show you how... oops, hang on, turn off. Whoops. Whew, I closed it again. I still had it set, so be careful. That just shows you that. Okay, I'm going to turn it off. There, now it's not going to start up. It starts up here when you close the lid. So see how, look at that. That is like amazing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some coffee because we had to open a big container of coffee. But we're not going to use it all before we leave. So I'm going to vacuum seal it and put it in the freezer. So let me get that set up and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got this coffee. Now, you know, if I was to put that in a regular old standard vacuum sealer, it would just suck that coffee right up in the end. So I'm going to tip this up here. I'm going to lay it in there. And then I'm going to set the front. I'm not going to show, I mean, I don't have to show you guys now. I'll show you. So I'm going to set it for the small bag. It's on automatic. Here we go. There it is. Now it beeps to let me know that it's vacuuming. And it will beep to let me know when it's done. And on the front, conveniently, are the reminder. I call these reminder instructions so I don't have to refer to the book all the time. So it is just doing its thing. but I want you guys to see it. I think it's so cool when it goes and it sucks everything down. And this is going to be awesome. Now this is coffee. I'm going to do it with my Make-A-Mixes that I have still in the freezer so that I can have those when I get back. And the coffee doesn't necessarily have to be, like, in my opinion, I could just vacuum seal this and leave it in the pantry and it would stay fresher so much longer than an opened, you know, container of coffee. Woo, there it is. Let's see. Okay, now it beeps. I can go, oh my gosh. Ooh, I don't want to close that, it'll start over. Look at that. That is, hear that? That is vacuum sealed tighter than anything I've ever seen. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to do some liquid for you. So you've seen how to do this. Clearly I can do meat. Okay, you've probably seen, if you look, there's millions of meat ones, but I wanted to show you there's some bread. This coffee is so, it's solid. I'm going to do the rest of that. Now I'm going to get some I'm just going to do some water. And then the one thing I want to tell you is if you do soups or chilies or casserole or whatever, it needs to be cold. You don't want to, I heard someone say that heat increases under vacuum, so you don't want to have anything hot in there. You want to have it already cold. I usually will put my stuff in a bag or in little containers and freeze it and then vacuum seal it. But this will eliminate that as long as the soup or the liquid is cold. So let me go get that set up and I'll be right back. So I just filled up one of the small bags. This is just a test. I'm going to turn it on. And then I'm going to clip this in there. And so you don't want it too full because it needs to sit down in this bold chamber so that it doesn't leak out. But you know there's no way you're going to do actual liquid in your standard vacuum sealer. So now I put it over the little tabs. I'm going to set this on small and let's see. There it goes. It's beeping. It's ready to go. And while that's going, I want to show you that double line of seal that I showed you before. See how it's two lines? It's like a backup plan on your sealing. So this is super cool. I am definitely going to dedicate the end of the counter over there for this as opposed to my wheat mill because I can pull that out and just do bulk amounts and then vacuum seal it and have this for so many other things. So this is super cool. We're almost there. Almost ready to, I just wanted to show you that you can literally do liquid. Here we go, we're sealing. Let it beep. Done. Hear it beep. 3 beeps. And you can see how that bag is pulled together there. That is a vacuum sealed liquid. That blows my mind. It makes me so excited. I am so thrilled, and I really, really appreciate Wevac for contacting me and say, hey, you want to check out our vacuum sealer? You know I jumped on that, and I'm so glad I did. Now, like I said, this is a piece of equipment that is a small investment for your kitchen, but with my discount code, Tuliloo Creates, you can get 15% off, and honestly, I'm thinking this is totally worth it. Absolutely worth it. It's an amazing piece of equipment, and I'm so glad that it's an addition to my countertop. So, I hope you guys check it out. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.